This is Freelance Life, where sleep is optional, but deadlines are not. In this episode, which we have titled Sleepless and Self-Employed, we dive into midnight marathons, early morning emails, and the questionable life choices that come with being your own boss. So we were just talking online between episode recordings, and I said to Shay, I am so exhausted. I don't think I've slept since April. And this was with a puppy. So I can
I
only
was going to say,
imagine
what
you
does that
moms.
coincide with?
Hmm. Yeah, I am freaking exhausted. And unfortunately, uh, the work just keeps coming. So you kind of have to find a way to cope with the exhaustion and the interruptions and all that sort of thing. So I always compare puppies to babies, and I get into a lot of trouble by doing that. So I'm going to hand over to an actual human mom to a human baby, and you can tell us how when your kid was like newborn, or even now. I mean, I don't know, are they sleeping through yet? You did send me a WhatsApp the other day that said that she had vomited all over your bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's always fun to deal with. How are you coping?
So I read somewhere that you can maybe count on constant sleep by the time she is 7. So only 6 years to go. So no, we're not sleeping yet. And in a way, firstly, you get used to it kind of sometimes, but the effect can be cumulative. For me, one thing I do is luckily I fall asleep quite easily. So I try to be very strict about bedtime. So like I haven't watched anything on TV properly since, I don't know, or it takes me months to finish a series because by the time I've put her to bed and done my last things and had dinner and whatever, it's, already 8, 8:30, and it's time for me to go to bed. So yeah, it's just I try not to sacrifice for sleep. Obviously, it's not always perfect, and I end up scrolling on my phone in bed for an hour and doing all the good work that I thought I was doing. But yeah, going to bed early is a good start because then at least you've set yourself up with a few hours until the mayhem ensues. Another tactic is using your natural body, which we spoke about in the past. Your body's rhythms and energy. So for me, first thing in the morning. So if I need to start working at 5 a.m., that's actually fine. My daughter's up by then, so I may as well try get something done anyway. Because that's when my brain actually is awake. And then, by lunchtime, it's just a steady decline until the end of the day. So I'll try to tackle my most important tasks first thing, that whole eating the frog business. And again, like we spoke about in the previous episode, reducing disruptions during that time, just getting that most important thing done. And then you can kind of breathe out. And if the rest of your stuff doesn't happen, you're normally okay. And also if you're feeling completely brain dead, rather push something to another day. I found that sometimes when I've tried to push through with something, I've delivered a product that I'm not 100% happy with. So I think even if you
Mm.
need to say to your client, look, I know this is due this afternoon. Can it wait until tomorrow morning? I mean, they're probably not going to look at it between 5 p.m. and 8 a.m. the next day anyway. So if you can then get your ass up early and get it done with a fresh mind, it's better for everyone. So I'd say those are my tactics. I try not drink too much coffee because I don't want to land up in a dependency cycle. So what I do is it's my little treat after I've got that first deadline, most important thing done. Then I know after that I deserve my coffee, and then I sit and enjoy my coffee instead of inhaling it in one go quickly before I start. So yeah, coffee helps. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it doesn't even touch sides though. And
Yeah,
what about your
I
strategies?
I cannot start the day without coffee. But I
Okay.
have put a limit on how much I drink and when I stop drinking it. So by about 9 o'clock, 3 cups, 9 o'clock, because otherwise it just becomes like the self-perpetuating cycle.
Mm.
Because that it's also, I actually read somewhere that if you have caffeine after 12 midday, it's what the half life of caffeine is something like 9 hours or something, and it
Oh,
actually will
really?
disrupt the sleep cycle. I'm open to correction. I don't have ChatGPT open, which I normally do, so we could have checked. But the caffeine lives in your system for ages, and so even if you're drinking coffee at lunchtime, it can actually interrupt the sleep. So 3 cups by 9 a.m. And like you, we try and have a really healthy um uh kind of what do they call it? Sleep preparing for bed routine. Yeah, sleep hygiene kind of routine thing. I don't look at my phone. Well, I try not to look at my phone after I've actually got into bed. Um,
Mm.
I find that just the screen, even though I've got that blue light filter on, I think it's a placebo effect now, but like I feel like it affects me still, even with the blue light filter. We go to bed at 9, and it's got so bad that even if we've got like 5 minutes left on a show, we'll be like, it's 9 o'clock, it's bedtime, and we'll switch it off
That's
because,
really impressive. That's not got so bad. That's got so good. That is wow.
yeah, um, because, somehow, if we miss the 9 o'clock deadline, even by 5 minutes, we can't cope with that. We've become such creatures of habit. So, we had healthy, kind of sleep, hygiene, going to bed routine. At the moment, the dog is getting us up at 2. So, we are kind of rotating the, um, the, whose turn it is. But sometimes she actually does need to go out. Other times she's just realizes it's 2 o'clock. And so you get up to let her out, and then you stand like a football by the door waiting for her. And when you go back to the room, she's taken over your side of the bed. So then you want to murder at 2 a.m. or whatever. But there's nothing really that you can do about it. You just have to learn ways to cope with it. And what I've done now, because I'm so tired all the time, and I'm getting kind of brain foggy, is on alternate days, instead of exercising, I actually go for a nap.
Okay.
So my working out has become sleep. To try, I mean, an hour doesn't really kind of cut into like a huge deficit, but it does kind of just at least refresh you a little bit for the second part of your day. So yeah, that's kind of my some tricks is nap, and just go to bed, make it like a hard deadline that you can't miss your whatever chosen time is. Those things definitely do help. But beyond that, I have zero advice. I don't think that you ever really get used to it. Um, operating,
Maybe just
freelancing like a
forget what good
zombie,
feels like.
it becomes your new normal. It becomes
Yeah.
your new normal. So yeah, um,
Well, I do
that's
have one tip. If you can't sleep, something that helps me is putting a podcast on, because then instead of my mind going through, all the million things that I'm thinking about, I start thinking about whatever the podcast is about. And I find that helps put me to sleep. So that's my
okay.
tip.
So
If anyone's actually struggling to fall back asleep after your 2 a.m. wake up or whatever it is.
we do white noise, which we'd never done before ever. But because our dog has like huge anxiety issues, we we were told by the behaviorists that we hired to play white noise. And so we listened to like rain sounds. And it's completely screwed up my Spotify playlist. Like at the end of the year, my Spotify Wrapped is going to be like
Yeah.
barky and nature sounds and that sort of thing. But white noise actually does help. As
Mm.
does Barky. Go and check out Barky on Spotify. It's
Okay.
music for dogs, and
Okay.
it really it's sleepy time for Megan too. So, and on that embarrassing note, we want to know: do you have any tips to help deal with sleep deprivation? Um, put them in the comments, and we will see you in the next episode.